where does the why were you good at writing, or how did you
Yeah.
get good?
So the stories that you see, they're widely edited.
No, I mean, like
By
when you were at that analyst job, right? And like you don't have journalistic experience before that, but the way you wrote your stories in
Yeah.
that
So
job.
I've always kind of been expressive with
Okay.
words. Even as a kid, like I loved writing things. And you know how like some people are quantitative and some are quantitative. Um,
I think you said
while I do,
quantitative both times.
some people are qualitative and some are quantitative.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, I do think in numbers, and and sometimes I think in memes, but I think I
Yeah,
usually do think in numbers. But at the same time, I feel that as a kid, I was always able to write well.
right.
Um, and the writing thing started like as a kid, and it's continued over the years. And I think for us, the school got on his dimag kharab bhi kar liya. Oh, you write well, and then
Yeah,
you
yeah.
start thinking, so that happened. But I honestly, like when I look at my writing right now, most of my work is edited, and I still feel inadequate in the sense that if it was so good, it shouldn't have been, you know, edited.
Right.
Um, so that's the thing. And then plus, I feel like my vocabulary is really subpar because I use very basic words and I don't use fancy words or creative words. Or adjectives. So those are things that I'm working on.
Okay, but then that is a bit of like an artistic thing also, where every person with any creative streak I've spoken to, regardless of genre, they all, no one's ever like, yeah, bro, mera good scene hai. I'm like really good at my thing. So I
No, but
mean,
I'm not being humble. I'm not being
huh?
humble. I'm
No,
just
no,
telling you as it
sincerely.
is. Like sincerely, like when I write something, I'm just gonna so it's like this. When I'm gonna write something, I'm gonna like the sun is a bright star, right?
Yeah.
And my editor, Abdullah, is gonna turn it into the sun, the source of all energy in the solar system, is the brightest of bright stars
Wow.
that
Okay.
illuminates
Oh God.
and gives life to you and me.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah, yeah.
that is the difference between Abdullah and me. He's a literature major, just by the way.
Right, right. Well, that tracks
Yeah.
then. Acha, so then you show
Yeah.
up at Profit,
Yeah.
and first time journalist, long time reader, first time writer. How does that go for you? Did you like adjust for and say find your footing?
No, no. It was terrible during the first few months because I didn't know what to do. I had absolutely no clue कि क्या करना होता है क्या नहीं करना होता. Um, and my bosses weren't in Karachi,
Hmm.
so it was even worse because I had at that time we had two bosses. One was Saruk Timizi, he was based in Washington, and the other was Babar Nizami, and he's based in Lahore. And I mean, it they would tell me what to do, but like I just it just took me a little while. It took me a
Okay.
little while, and then COVID hit. So
Right.
right before lockdown, I had settled in,
Right.
and that's when lockdown
Yeah.
started, and things went crazy. But it took me like around a month or two to like settle in. I think my first story came out a month and a half ish, or a month after I joined.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah.
That's not that long considering, in your 2 year span. That's like within a month getting down with a completely new job. But it's not that completely new considering you did have some writing exposure in your previous one.
It's just, when you're new, you just go like, oh, I haven't done anything.
Yeah,
Why are they
yeah.
paying me?
Yeah, yeah. Especially when there is measurable
A
output.
pandemic.
And
It,
also, yeah,
yeah, and measurable output. Like everyone is supposed to file at that point, everyone is supposed to file at least a story every 1 week or every 2 weeks, right? And I couldn't manage to figure that out for the longest time. And it just felt a little weird because it wasn't more about the quality as well, it was also about the quantity. So there were two things that I
mm-hmm.
had to work on. I
Sure.
had to work on the quantity and the quality.
Right.
And then plus the first time you submit an article for review is kind of the toughest because you are really conscious that
Mm,
time.
mm.
Over time, वो conscious level khatam ho jata hai, and then you're really comfortable even submitting things that you don't like yourself.
Okay. I'd like,
Just getting done with the deadline.
yeah, 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 yeah.